Have you ever had a loss of memory, felt dizzy or confused, and even vomited after being hit in the head? These are common symptoms of a concussion. A concussion is a traumatic brain injury that alters the way the brain functions. A concussion happens when the brain root moves rapidly inside of the skull, and the momentum of the head causes the brain to actually rattle against the interior of your skull. A concussion is usually has short-term problems, but it can have long-term effects too. Researchers believe that the changes in brain cells from a concussion are usually temporary and can be healed with physical and mental rest. After only one concussion, a person has a higher risk of having dementia, Parkinson's disease, and even depression in some cases. A concussion is a pretty common injury, but in some cases it can be very severe and harmful. If a concussion goes untreated, it can cause many mental illnesses and behavioral issues like anxiety. Treatment on concussions is usually pretty common with rest, with no physical activities, and aspirin or ibuprofen to help with the headaches. In some cases, though, a concussion is so bad that it causes swelling and bleeding inside of the brain, which will then have surgery to prevent that swelling and to drain some of the blood out of the brain. Concussions do not only affect you, but they can affect the loved ones around you too. A common symptom for a concussion is memory loss. And with memory loss, you might not be able to remember who some of these loved ones are around you. This can cause many problems and conflicts among these ones around you. In some cases, a concussion is so bad, and after multiple concussions, it can cause death, which will cause great grief to these loved ones around you and can actually harm them. You may think that a concussion can only harm you, but it affects them as well. Concussions are a serious problem. Concussions are probably the most common in sports. Approximately 300,000 concussions happen every year in sports alone. The most common sport is football, due to the fact that it is a contact sport and it is probably the most physical sport out of all of them. Researchers have found that retired athletes who have had a concussion in the past have increased in memory loss and depression. This has raised many concerns among the NFL and other sports as well. The NFL has realized that concussions are a serious problem, and they have came up with rules and regulations to help prevent concussions from happening. One way the NFL has taken concern is by not allowing players to lead head to head when tackling. Leading head to head causes them to hit the other defender right on the head, and it has caused many concussions. If this happens, the NFL will fine these players. After 3 concussions, sports teams have not allowed players to play anymore. Concussions happen not only in sports, but they can happen around you as well. A concussion is a traumatic brain injury that alters the way the brain functions.